Welcome to episode number 210 of the Canadian Prepper Podcast. We're recording on July the 30th, 2023. My name's Eric, host of the show based in Southern Ontario, hunter, target shooter, ham radio operator, and of course, computer geek. As a first responder, witnessed an over-reliance on emergency services during major events and started a small preparedness company to help people get better prepared for at least 72 hours, if not longer.
And I'm Jeff. I'm based in Central Ontario. I'm a target shooter, ham radio operator, general overall handyman, and weather nerd.
And I'm Terry. I live in sunny Central Ontario as well. I'm a starving wannabe author, a pathetic hunter, mediocre fisherman, and an aspiring prepper.
You're going to fit in just fine here, Terry.
That's quite the card, eh?
Welcome back to another episode.
You're welcome. Happy to be here.
If you want to help support the show and keep the Canadian Prepper Podcast on the air, you can buy some swag. We've got the Canadian Prepper Podcast t-shirt and the tactical Velcro patch available at prepperpodcast.ca. All the proceeds help keep the lights on and the backup generator fueled.
And if you're enjoying the show, please take a few minutes and like us on Facebook and submit a review on iTunes. Also, we want your feedback, good or bad. And this is the important one. If there's a topic you want us to cover, we need some help here, folks. Email us at feedback@prepperpodcast.ca.
I'll mention in there too, we used to do the call out quite often for any guest speakers or people that want to come and participate in the panel. If you've got an expertise or something you want to talk about in the preparedness world, shoot us an email at feedback@prepperpodcast.ca. We'd love to get you on. No need to have a camera if you don't want the camera on. You can use a fake name if you want. And all you need is a microphone because we need to at least be able to hear you. So I said throw an email in at feedback@prepperpodcast.ca. And we've got some, this is going to be shocking, so everybody ready? Prepper content for you in this episode. Weird, right? We're going to start off with some recent news. We're going to update our personal preps, and then we'll get into the main topic, and we're debriefing the annual Preppers Meet. So let's move into the news.
So, not that we haven't had problems already with antibiotics and, different medications and all that with supply chain issues and all that stuff. A Pfizer plant in Rocky Mount, North Carolina was extensively damaged by a tornado back on the 25th. And they're already sending advisories out to local hospitals and stuff that there is the potential for there obviously to be shortages of medical supplies and things coming up. They specifically mentioned, let me find the article here, epinephrine, which I believe is actually an EpiPens, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct, yep.
For allergic reactions, fentanyl for severe pain. They could just go to the local druggie down the street. I don't know why that's there, but
not that we condone that.
That's true. And lidocaine, which is another pain blocker that hospitals and that use. So, they've already, like I said, I'm sure there's others, but those are the three ones they mentioned. There's about 30 products that they produce out of that factory. So, yeah. Look for some empty shelves coming soon, probably.
That's interesting. I'd heard some rumblings the last couple of days about shortages of medication and people starting to ask questions about it. I had not heard about that. So that kind of ties everything into why I'm hearing rumblings about shortages on medication and such again. So that's a supply chain, right? We've seen that all through COVID, and now we're seeing it with some natural disasters. So,
and it doesn't help too if you're Canadian. It probably affects part of the U.S. too as well. That we had a strike at the port. Port workers went on strike in Vancouver for 13 days. They didn't unload a single ship. There's all kinds of politics going on. They rejected the last offer. Now it looks like the government's going to mandate them back to work because we just can't have supplies and medicine and all that stuff just sitting on a ship out in the middle of the ocean waiting forever. So
yep.
I'm not going to play politics here. I'm not going to say it's right, wrong to force them back, but it is what it is.
Yep. No, fair enough. All right. Should we move into what we've done lately for preps?
Well, I guess I'm first up again. considering I'm the only other one here besides you, Eric. So all the other ones
Terry's here.
decided.
Terry's here too.
Terry's here, and the rest of them just decided that
They wanted to get covered in glitter.
yeah,
About
and
5 pounds of it.
that they just felt this wasn't important anymore. So whatever.
You know what? It is what it is.
I just hope I'm not scaring away the company. That's all.
I don't think that's it at all, Terry.
No.
I'm not that intimidating, believe me.
I've done some food prep. I did some fuel rotation, did a bunch of yard work, and finishing up my firewood for 2 years from now. So
Nice.
Almost finished.
Awesome. For myself, I had a week off from work, so we went out camping over the weekend. Took the little ones, little rugrats out. Did some tent camping. That was fun. Was able to bring my ham radio gear with me and kind of test out some of my portable setup. Dial a few things in, change a couple things around. As always, there's always something to change, modify, or improve on, right? So I was able to play around with that. Met up with the local ham radio club here in town for just a quick coffee. So a couple of them did a quick impromptu meet. So ran down, had a quick coffee. Helped out one of the ham radio club guys with doing a repair on their tower. So I did more observing and learning than I did helping with anything. But a couple of the guys are experienced tower climbers, so they climbed up, took some parts down, and we did a quick assessment on the parts. And it's still a pending project, but it was kind of neat to see how to climb a tower, how to take some parts off of it, and what's actually up on the top, because I didn't have the opportunity to see that before. So it was neat to be there and just kind of run around and get random parts when they needed it, and tools and things like that. But it was cool to see. And then made some contacts here on the radio at the house. Fired it up actually last night and was able to get to Romania, Israel, and Bulgaria, all off of a wire in the backyard and the 100 watts here on the Kenwood radio. That same one we used in episode 199 where we did the HF demonstration. So I was kind of pleased with that. The bands were very nice to me last night.
Oh, and for me, well, I've been working up this here hot tent setup. I've been starting to put this together since last spring, and I got a little wood stove at Princess Auto, and it's a kind of a cute little thing. It works in there, and I got a cot, and I went and spent the big bucks for a Canadian military sleep system from one of our vendors at the Preppers Meet this year. So I'm tickled about that. So I should be all set up for some cold weather camping this winter.
Awesome.
That was my thing to do this last little while. I did a little rainy weather camping too.
Yep.
Yes. A couple of times. Got damp. Was never deterred though. That was just fun. You break
it's not camping. It's not camping if you're not damp.
No.
It's just got to happen. Yeah.
Break out the soap and make the best of it, and just
you
shower up while you're at it.
Mm-hmm. You got it. Yeah, that a little stove, I guess, would be pretty good too in the wintertime to keep things warm.
It should be all right, I think. It was wasn't a bad little rig. Yeah. Nice. Well, we're going to find out. I played around a little bit there before the weather warmed up, but didn't do any overnights, and I was too chicken. I wanted that extra sleeping bag first in case the fire went out.
Yeah, fair enough.
I like my comforts,
Yep. Hey, there's nothing wrong with comfort. Just because you're preparedness minded doesn't mean you can't be comfortable too.
That's right. That's right.
All right. Well, with that, let's move into the main topic, shall we? We've got Terry here tonight to do debrief us on the annual Preppers Meet. He's known around the annual Preppers Meet as the Grand Pumbaa. I've seen that on your name tag quite a number of times.
Thanks to Jay for that. Yeah.
Yep, it's a great meet. I know we've talked about it for quite a few episodes on the podcast here. Unfortunately, I was not able to make this year's meet, but I have been out to pretty much all of them in the past, and it's a great experience, great group of people. And we thought we'd take the time to debrief and talk about what happened. So those of you that couldn't make it can hear what went on this year at the meet. And those of you that did make it out, if you want to take some time and reminisce about what happened, now's your opportunity. So we'll turn it over to you, Terry. We'll do, like I said, just a conversation style here with you. And if you want to start running us through what happened, and we'll ask questions as we go and share some stories.
Okay, well, first and foremost, the 2023 annual Preppers Meet was a resounding success, our biggest and best show ever. Had the best turnout ever. We had over 200 attendees come this year, and we're blessed, of course, to have Dieter and Kat host us once again at their at their place there in Desborough. Thanks very much to them for what they did, and for putting up with us all the time, and for all the hard work they done, and for sharing their space with us. And again, we'd like to thank all the hardworking people that helped us out. All the volunteers and staff that worked behind the scenes to make this thing happen. It's quite the logistic beast to get all this moving, to get everybody settled into a camping space, and get all the vendors set up and everything working right, the shuttling of people back and forth, and so on. So
it's awesome to see behind the scenes work. Because not everybody realizes how much it takes to actually make something like that work. People will just assume, you just point me at a campsite and that's it, and everything just runs. The guys at the preppers meet, like all the volunteers in the background, everybody coordinating things, it's just awesome to watch, because you never notice that it's there. Things just run smoothly.
It's pretty smooth.
It's just fantastic.
Everybody just jumps in and does their part. Yeah. So it was great. We had some great vendors this year that come and support us every year. So Jay wanted to make sure that we put a big thank you plug in for all the sponsors and vendors that make this thing possible, and everybody that helped out to put it all together.
Yeah, and those that want, I think we'll list them off here, but if you're looking for a list as well, there'll be a copy in the show notes attached to the podcast episode, and it'll be attached to the audio version that gets posted out to YouTube and all the other locations. So there'll be a list. I'll get some hyperlinks in there too, if I can get links into the vendors, so you can check them out.
That didn't work for me for whatever the reason. When I copied that over, I lost all my hyperlinks there. So
it's all good. That's why I'm the computer nerd. I'll figure it out.
I hope you can fix it up. I wrestled with that. But anyhow, I guess for me, the highlight of this year was all the new connections we made. There was a lot of new people turned out this year, a lot of new faces, a lot of repeat faces from before. And one of the joys of this thing is reconnecting with the people and meeting all the new folks that come. A lot of new faces are on our Facebook page as well. People from far away that can't attend for whatever the reason, or they live too far away and so on. But there's a lot of new bodies. So welcome to everyone. And to everyone that did come to the show, both new and old, I hope you all got something from it, and something to take home that you can run with and work on for next year.
Yeah, that's the part I always enjoyed about coming out to the preppers meet, is there's always the same people that you recognize from the first year, and then the second year there's new people, but then the people you saw from the first year, and then the third year there's the first and second year people and the new people for the third year. But everybody kind of remembers, if not names, at least faces. And we get chatting about things. You get to catch up with people about what they've done for the last year, and everyone's just willing to talk and share experiences and knowledge and kind of get information across, and they're willing to listen to you too, because everybody realizes they've got strengths and weaknesses. So it's a really neat dynamic of people. Exactly. I've always enjoyed coming back and just, like I said, coming across all kinds of new folks, coming across the old crew. It's a very welcoming environment.
Oh yeah, very welcoming, and we have all kinds of folks there. Don't ever be deterred. We have young and old, and we have folks in walkers and wheelchairs, and all kinds. Just don't be scared away. I don't think that you're not welcome, no matter what. You're always welcome there. It's a very welcoming, accommodating group of folks. Let's see, where are we going next here?
Yeah, let's actually touch on the sponsors. So who was sponsored this year, and really, from what I remember, every year for the APM?
Yes, well, the good old Bryden Solutions. They're an emergency food and outdoor providers, and every year Bryden steps up and sponsors the preppers meet, and they always have a number of items in the raffle. Are always a popular item, that raffle. So Bryden's a big sponsor of this meet, and we big thank you and a shout out goes to them guys. There's a link for their Facebook, or not their Facebook, their website in the notes there. So if you want to go buying some prepper food and supplies, check Bryden out.
Absolutely.
This year we had a couple of new sponsors. Right and Rain was another one. They have military style notebooks that you can write on in the rain, and it's pretty cool. I've used these when I was in the military years ago, and these are the same thing. They're just greatest thing.
Yeah, it was neat to see them.
You can write.
It was neat to see that on your list. that they were out this year,
Cool.
as I had no idea, obviously not being there this year, and to see them on the list, I was like, okay, that has a real spot in preparedness, because if you're out in inclement weather and you want to take some notes or write something down or whatever it is you need to remember, that's a perfect application right there. Those, I've used those pads as well in my professional life, and they're fantastic. They work quite well, and they're handy to have, especially when you're out in the middle of that rainstorm or you're out in, you know, some not so great weather and you got to jot something down. Fantastic. So good move on their part of getting involved.
Yeah, and the other cool thing they did was when you signed in this year, everybody got a little pocket book of that Write and Rain book, just a small one, that they could take it with them. So everybody got one. So everybody scored a little swag right off the bat when they signed.
Well, now I'm extra mad that I didn't get to come out this year.
Missed out.
I missed out on the
Jeff.
swag.
I'm going to get my plug in at Jeff too, because he missed out too. Yeah, and Survival Frog. That's another company. Again, there's a link for their website in the notes, and they have all types of survival gear, and they had some great items for our raffle this year as well too.
Yeah, I had never heard of them before. That's which is good. It's good to see new companies out. Assuming they're new, I haven't heard of them, so maybe they're old and I just haven't heard, or maybe they're new. But yeah, that's good. Do you recall what kind of things they had available there?
Yeah, they donated a couple of really cool solar rechargeable battery packs that kind of flips out like accordion style with a solar pad on it. And I don't remember the milliamp hours this thing would store up of power, but you could store quite a bit of power in it. It was a great raffle item, and sadly I didn't win that one. Somebody walked away with a good price also.
No, that's good.
And vendors this year, well, we've had a repeat of some of the great folks we've had for the last few years. H&C Surplus, Premier Military Surplus Gear, great stuff. I dropped a few dollars here on a Canadian military sleep system this year for my winter camping set, and I'm real pleased with it. It's a great sleeping bag, great shape, just excellent shape for surplus gear. Good bunch of fellas. And they also sponsored a bug out bag starter kit for the raffle as well, and of a military backpack and some gear in there as well. So yeah, it's awesome. Really good bunch of fellas. And the Great Ape Empire, they were back this year again. The Great Ape's a 100% veteran-owned company from Wyerton, Ontario. Again, military surplus gear, and they've got bug out gear, coffee and candles even. So, you can even get that there.
Coffee. Now we're talking my language.
Have that coffee, I'll tell you.
Got to have coffee. That makes the world go around.
Yep.
And a little bit of their funding goes into support military veterans as well. So a bunch of better. Yeah. And Andre's Alpacas. They had the alpaca wool products. They've been there for a couple of years now. They had some stuff. Good.
So somebody. Sorry, Gary, for cutting you off. I was going to say, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. If my understanding is right, there's really like alpaca stuff. A, it's apparently is warm as heck, and B, it's non-allergic or whatever. If you're like allergic to wool or something, no problem with alpaca stuff.
Yeah, it's good stuff, and they got some beautiful stuff. And they bring the alpacas too.
They actually brought the alpacas.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. And we had Tamara McKay, who does the Thrive Life products. She was there again this year. She had a nice prize pack of some Thrive Life food for the raffle table as well. That was another popular item. I put a couple of tickets in on that too, but I didn't win. I didn't win nothing this year.
Come on. Nothing at all.
No. She had a booth set up there, and there's some paisley mushrooms. They were there. I think they're new. I don't remember seeing them before. They have all kinds of shiitake mushrooms and medicinal mushrooms and good stuff. I don't think they had any of those funny mushrooms, but yeah, they were there. I guess there's a link for all these guys in the show notes as well. Yeah. And if I missed anybody, I apologize, but I think that's all I could find, scraping through my list of pictures and notes that I took over the preppers meet. But
that is awesome to see, because I remember days going where I was the only booth, which was interesting. And then there'd be some other random, like Shay, the organizer, would have some stuff from other people, and then slowly other booths would set up and then break down. So it's kind of neat to see that there's all these new sponsors and vendors that are there, which just speaks to the fact that the word is getting out there, right?
Oh, the
And
word's
more and more
getting out,
people are
yeah.
getting involved, right? So
Mhm.
it's neat to see.
And
And I assume they were there throughout the whole weekend.
yeah, the whole weekend. They were
Yeah.
there the whole
Yeah.
weekend. Yeah.
That's awesome. It's good to have that kind of location for people to come and even just check stuff out and get ideas. Not necessarily have to buy stuff,
No, you don't
but
have to
just
buy stuff,
chat
but
with
you
the
can get
vendors, right?
ideas and chat
Get
and
ideas,
put it
chat,
on your
and
Christmas list. Right?
exactly. I had all kinds of awesome conversations with people when I had my booth set up. I always set a booth up. Like I said, this is the first year I missed, and I'm still ticked about it. But I've had tons and tons of really good just conversations with folks. Never bought a thing, right? But you just make that connection and you chat with them. And I got some ideas from people. I know I gave other people ideas. It was neat to see, and it's nice to see that there's booths there throughout the entire weekend now. Whereas, like I said, there was times I was the only one there, and then I'd pack down, and there would be other people that would set up, and so that's good.
Oh, we had good stuff going on all weekend. It was really great.
Yeah.
Really great. And
So
since
we chat the raffle table.
Yeah, we've touched on it a little bit already.
Yeah, that's a big draw. The raffle
It's a
table
big
is
draw.
always a big
It's
draw.
always out there. Catherine
Yep.
sets that up out there and puts all the goods on display, and
Yep.
everybody hovers around and salivates over what wonderful treasures they might be able to score.
Yep.
And again, sponsors donate to that, vendors donate, other supporters donate. Some of the folks from within the group donate prizes for that thing as well.
Yep.
Just rattle off some of the things we had this year.
Sure.
Well, we had freeze-dried food from Tamara McKay and Bryden.
Yep.
We had the backpack from I forgot their name. Having a brain fart. Sorry.
H&C
Surplus. Sorry.
No
H&C Surplus. Yes.
Yep.
They donated a backpack, a starter bug out kit. We have the solar charges we mentioned before.
Nice.
The Write and Rain notebooks.
Yep.
Paul Tarsitano from SaveALife.Inc. donated a survival kit.
Nice.
Dave Arama, he had his book there, How to Start Fire with Water, and he had some survival courses. Amanda Mayhew, that hunting girl that was there last year, she couldn't come this year, but she donated some really good stuff to the raffle, some really nice clothing, hat, hoodies, and some goodies that drew a lot of interest. Some folks made some beautiful handmade charcuterie boards. A couple of those. We had a folding backpack or a folding chair. Mm-hmm. The Agawa Canyon folding saw that seems to be quite popular there. They have one of those quite often from Agawa Canyon. Some herbal stuff, some essential oils, some mushrooms from the mushroom folks, some candies. God forbid I didn't need those, but I did sample them. They were quite good.
Yeah, you got to sample candies. You can't not.
Oh, you do.
It's got to happen.
And then we had some cool annual Preppers Meet swag. They had some new hoodies and T-shirts made up this year with this wonderful new logo here. Yeah, the decal. And nice. They had some swag there. So it was a great thing. There's pictures on the Facebook page of all the prize winners, and all the happy smiling faces. There was a lot of good stuff. Just a lot of good stuff. I probably missed a few things. I'm sure I have, because there was just so much good stuff on offer.
Yeah, it's always such a popular spot, and again, another spot where everybody kind of congregates, and you get all kinds of cool little conversations going on. And there's always a group of people there throughout the day, just chit chatting, throwing ballots in the containers, and just seeing what you can win. It's a neat little table. And there's always something new there and something neat.
Mm-hmm.
How about we get into the presenters? What did we have this year? What was going on presenter wise?
Well, we had some great guys this year. Our keynote speaker this year is Zachary Galt from Primitive Living. Now, Zachary's a cool young guy. He's been there a couple of times now. I've seen him. And he's been on that reality TV show. I forget the name of the darn show now. I should have looked it up, but I didn't. And his talk this year, he was our keynote speaker, and he gave a talk on the difference between reality TV shows and real-life survival, because there's a difference, as you can imagine, right? He put on a good presentation about that, and then he did some friction fire work, because Zach's very good at friction fire. And he put on.
He was on Alone.
Oh, was Alone? That's the one he was on? Okay.
Yeah, I just Googled it.
Oh, good. But you're faster than I am. I'm not that.
Like I said, computer nerd. We're good.
Yeah, I'm a little slow with that stuff, but yeah, Zach put on a good presentation, and he did a great job. We're really glad to have him this year. Something new again this year was a lady called Katia and her man there, Guitarmo. I'm not exactly sure how you pronounce his name, so I apologize if I butchered that up. But they talked about off-grid communities. They're working on an off-grid community up in Kirkland Lake area.
Yep.
They have a property up there, and they were looking for folks that might be interested in going up and working up with an off-grid community.
Is that the one on Swan Lake, or is that a different one?
They're not attached with that Boreal Forest Medieval Village, but
yep.
I think they're closely related in a way.
Gotcha.
Again, I'm fuzzy on the details of it, but
no, that's okay.
There's a link in there for her, I believe.
Perfect.
That we can that folks can check up on. That was interesting, very interesting.
Yeah, that would have been awesome to listen to and kind of see where they're going with that and what their plan is.
Because most of those are set up like they're way up there. Kirkland Lake's a fair drive, and in unorganized townships, so you can do all kinds of different things. So they're getting hassled with the building code people.
Well, that's that. I was just going to say, you sometimes have to drive a long ways to find an unorganized township that's not going to give you the runaround. So
yeah, building code still applies as far as I know, but a lot of other things don't.
Yeah, they're you can't build junk, but they're pretty lenient with
there's no like bylaws and all that kind of stuff, and it's a lot of things that you can skip over with an unincorporated township, which is nice.
They're hard to find.
Yes.
And they're up there. But yeah, that was interesting. I was quite interested in that. We had Steve Thomas there. I don't know if you guys know Steve Thomas. He does he makes these cool little slingshots. He attends the harvest gathering. He's been there.
Yep.
And he's quite a character. He's a fun guy. He donated I forgot about this. He donated a rocket stove to the raffle that he built for someone, and someone ordered this thing and didn't pick it up. So Steve donated it to the raffle. It was cool. Yeah, but Steve had a slingshot up there, and he did a nice interactive shooting demonstration, and everybody got to fire the slingshot at some targets and talk, and he had a pretty good presentation going on. Everybody got a shot.
That's another fun part that we should mention about the preppers meet is there's a lot of hands-on type of things that go on. It's not a hey, let's all just gather in a spot and listen to a talking head. There are some presentations that are like that, and they have to be, right? You just can't do them interactively. But there's a lot that are just cool. Let's do some talking, and now let's get you actually doing it, which is just awesome. I mean, it's a great experience that way. You get
generates a lot of interest.
Yeah, it's really good that way.
Steve was good at that too. He was good at managing an audience.
Oh, nice.
And then there's, of course, our dear friend Brian Optenkelder, Sheepdog Survival, one of our regular presenters, and he was doing good old hands-on close quarters combatives this year. Now Brian's another one of those guys. He gets in and works the crowd, and everybody gets to participate and do a little sparring with one another while Brian supervises. And it's cool. He's got some good stuff. And he also had another presentation on packing for the apocalypse. What you need to bring when you're packing up. And again, really good stuff. Brian's a real wizard of knowledge there. He's got so much good stuff.
Again, he's been around for quite some time too with the prepper meet.
Yeah. Check out his Sheepdog Survival website, and there's all kinds of stuff on there. Courses you can sign up for, and events you can take part in. Learn some good skills. Let's see, what else do we have? Dave Arama. Dave's a regular there too as well. WSC Survival School. Dave's been in the prepper world. God.
Forever.
Yeah, he's been into bushcraft and survival skills, and he had some presentation this year on prepping for off-grid living. That was interesting. So it kind of tied in with the off-grid communities. And he put on a good presentation on that, and then he gave another presentation later on about how to survive in the wilderness 101, because there's only so much you can do in a couple of hours. So, but Dave was there, and he had all his displays set up and his books on sale and his courses that people could sign up for and get some information on and so on. So it was good. Dave's always an interesting character. He's always got some, and he had good Gordon Lightfoot tunes. I'm a big Gordon Lightfoot fan, and Dave said Gordon Lightfoot was a big inspiration for him. So he was flogging the Gordon Lightfoot tunes, did a little singing for us. That was embarrassing, but he did a good job. I can't pick on him too much for that. But yeah, it was good. It's very good. And another popular fellow this year was good old Wolf Starchild of Barefoot Bushcraft. Wolf had the black powder rifle, or not rifle, black powder gun shooting.
Yep.
And that drew a good crowd. I think everybody there got the fire at least once. So everybody got some hands on the black powder rifle. And Wolf, he can work a crowd. He's a great person with people. He's got great people skills, and he has people interested all the time, and you can really take them one-on-one and show them how to handle the gun and safely, and how to all the intricacies of loading it and shooting and so on. And good old Wolf, he also had an archery display, because Wolf does in his business down there at Font Hill, down in Niagara Peninsula there. He has a bushcraft school, and he does archery, lots of archery for kids and adults, and where people can go and have camps and shooting. And it's a great little presentation he put on. Everybody got to fire the recurve bow, and they had a good time.
Nice. Again, more hands-on stuff.
And I think, if from my end of it, I think archery for prepping is absolutely a huge thing. I mean, eventually, depending on how long bad things go or whatever, you're going to run out of ammunition. But if you've got a bow and you've got a way to make an arrow, you can find food. And yeah, I just think, and sadly, I think it's a lost art amongst a lot of people.
Yep.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, the archery and the slingshot is
both
go hand in hand. Yep.
Because you can do a great job of taking down some small game with them slingshots. Like those were powerful little slingshots Steve had. They're pretty impressive little units, and he had them for sale there as well. He builds them himself. Nice. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, two things I think, and I agree with Jeff, that just the preparedness community just doesn't really think about. Everybody just focuses firearms, right?
Yeah.
Those are two other things they could be huge, right?
But archery is cool, and it's quiet.
Yep.
Don't make no noise.
Exactly.
Some of the slingshots, quiet. You don't have to worry about disturbing anybody if you're out hunting for some game, and you can
or making the noise and people going, somebody over there. Right?
Somebody over there. You know what it's like these days.
Somebody's going to call.
Get the SWAT team on you. Sadly.
And exactly like Dave said in the live chat there, arrows are reusable.
Yep.
Yes, they are. Arrows are reusable. As long as you don't lose them really good. I've lost a few really good, never good find them. But if you can find them, they're reusable. And that's the nice thing about arrows, right? And you can start practicing your making them skills while you still got some too, if you have to. So that's always good. And Sherry's been there several times too. She's a great presenter, does an excellent and timely lesson this year on urban awareness. With all the stuff going on down in the city, with all the things going on in the subways and so on in Toronto, people really need some awareness skills on how to watch and how to look out for trouble, how to avoid trouble. Because you don't want to get in trouble. You want to avoid trouble. That's the smart person avoids trouble. And she puts on a good demonstration. Again, good hands-on demonstration on how to handle yourself and how to get yourself out of a pickle if somebody was to confront you. So she did a good job. Very good job. And then your dear friend Kevin, who filled in for Eric this year doing the radios. Kevin did a great job putting on his presentation.
I had no doubt he'd do good.
Yeah, he did a good job. He made you proud, Eric. You'll have to give him a raise.
Broken leg or not, he do a good job.
I noticed he didn't break a leg this year, because as soon as he heard I wasn't going, he's like, "Yep, I'll be there."
No, he didn't break a leg this year. He was very well behaved, and full disclosure, he gave me $50 to say all this, to put a good plug in for him here on the show tonight. Right, so
fair enough.
Collected on that later. But no, all fun aside, Kevin did a great job. He did a great job.
That's good.
Let's see who's next on the list. Good old bug out Dan Flowers. No, there's a guy of many talents. I love Dan.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can sit and listen to him day in and day out, and he can go on and on. He's got so much knowledge and so many skills. This year he was teaching a class on fitness and exercise and diet, and wow, I was quite blown away by that. As a short little fat guy, I could really use some of that, and I'm going to try this winter try my best to put some of Dan's skills to use, and seeing if I can't be a little slimmer and trimmer there come next year's prepper meet. But yeah, great
Awesome.
job for Dan. Great job. Karen Stevenson. Now, Karen's a regular. Does from Wild Edible Food. She does a great wild edible walk. She has a great website that you can find on the show notes there as well. She's got a YouTube channel. And Karen always captivates a crowd. She takes them all around for this long nature walk, introduces them to the different foods, and she can pick them out right there on the site. Different plants that are edible, and she'll talk about them and answer all your questions. And she gives nature walks throughout the year at various locations. You just got to, again, keep an eye on her website and sign up for some of her courses and buy some of her books. She's got some really good books. I've got all of them. No, I'm sorry. There's one more I got to get. I got to get one more, and I'll have her whole collection. But yeah, Karen does a great job. Great job. A new fella I'd never met this year, Tel Stellarchuk. He come this year and he built this amazing smoker. It's like a TP type smoker, and they lit a fire on that beast, and they prepared a bunch of duck and chicken and I don't know what else. There might have been some pork in there as well, and they smoked that all day long. And God, it was smelling pretty good by the time supper time come rolling around, and he opened it up and spread it out and cut her all up, and quite a few people got a sample of his nice smoked meat. That was pretty cool. And he talked to people about how to build it and set it up and so on. Sweet.
Yeah.
And another new fellow this year, Doug Flinders of Flinders Adventures. Nice young fellow, again from down Niagara Falls area. He's got a website. Again, I put all his information on there. He's got a Facebook page as well. You can find him on Facebook. And he taught folks firecraft skills, making feather sticks and so on, how to get fire started with a flint steel and fire steel. Yeah, pretty cool. Nice young fella. Did great.
Nice.
We got another nice young lady called Jody, and I don't know her last name. I'm afraid I couldn't find out before we did this. She was both a presenter and a vendor. And I believe she had some of her essential oils in the raffle as well. I might have missed mentioning that earlier, but she was teaching everybody about essential oils and how useful they can be for medicinal purposes and so on. So it was interesting as well.
Nice.
Daniel Grayman. Now he was working with the grade 8 fellows. He came in, but he put on an interesting presentation on route marking and warning devices. So if you want to set up warning devices, so if you're out there and you don't want people coming close to you, how to detect them and deter them. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. Daniel was a good speaker as well. He was interesting guy to listen to. And back again this year, we had Bob Wirmer. Bob was, he gave us a little primer on small engine repair. That's always something interesting because like generators and wood splitters and so many different things you can use in preparedness have a small engine. As long as we got gasoline, we're good to go. And Bob's pretty good at fixing up small engines, and he was giving everybody just a quick primer on small engines, how they work and how to fix them, and a little bit of troubleshooting skills. Interesting fellow to talk to.
Very nice.
And last but not least, we had another new group this year called the Barrie Lighthouse. And they give an interesting presentation on networking. Now, there's all kinds of preppers out there where we know they're out there, but we just don't know how to hook up with them or how to meet them and so on. So you can connect with the Barrie Lighthouse group. Again, their information is in our notes. And they'll point you in the right direction. So I live in central Ontario, Kawartha Lakes area, so they can point me towards some people that are over here. And if you live down Niagara, or if you live, Southern Ontario or Western Ontario, they can match you up with some like-minded people out there, and you can maybe attend some meetings and get-togethers with them. So it was pretty cool.
That could be really useful for people that are looking to put together a mutual assistance group or something.
Well, that's just
and
it.
don't
Right?
know who to reach out to in their
You
area.
don't know
That's
who to
awesome.
reach out to. Yeah, it's okay. You come to the preppers meet from all over the place, but who's in my area that's close by that we can get together with every once in a while and go do a little camping and do a little skills training and so on. It's good to have a group of people like that, or
That's
to
really
know
neat.
who's close by that you can count on and trust if you need
Yep.
somebody. Right.
That's awesome.
So that's good. So I think that concludes all our presenters this year. Again, there was
awesome.
a lot of stuff, just a lot of stuff. We were going from 9 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock, Friday night, Saturday night, and then Sunday we packed it at about 3 o'clock. So it was 3 full days of good stuff.
It's awesome. Let's talk a little bit about the scheduling. So do the talks just happen once? Do they happen multiple times throughout different days, or how does that work?
Sometimes things will overlap. Sometimes it depends on a lot of things, because the scheduling is kind of dynamic sometimes. Sometimes people that say they're coming don't come. And we got to do a little ad lib. I know Dave Aramba jumped in and filled in, and some others popped in and filled in for some other people that didn't come this year, that couldn't make it and had to bail out at the last minute. Right. So the schedule's kind of dynamic, and you will have two things going concurrently sometimes. So that's the sad reality of life, is you got to hope that they're not two things that you want to see. And but sometimes they repeat. It just depends. It's quite dynamic. It's quite dynamic.
And I've always found too, being both a presenter and an attendee at some presentations, that after the presentation's done, or even the following day, those presenters are still around and are willing to chat with you and talk to you and share their information. Around the campfire at night, there's always some awesome conversations that happen between participants and presenters. And so it's not always that, okay, I've missed out that presentation, I'm never going to get the information. There's other ways to get it. You don't have to be at the presentation. You can get it just through chatting with people that night, or chatting with the actual presenter themselves. That's the cool part about this gathering, is everybody is so approachable and willing to talk to you and just share their knowledge. So you can chat up whoever you want, whenever, and get the information if you're not able to make it. So it's neat that way.
Camped out there.
Yep. Everybody. Yeah. And everybody's kind of close quarters camped out. It's a really neat atmosphere.
Yeah, that's one of the nice things is, you miss something, or say, I'd like to talk to them about that, because I really like that. I like a little more information, and you can go by and approach them and talk to them about it. And everybody very approachable, good, just a good bunch of folks.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Absolutely.
And then the list of presenters here, it's neat to see it on written out like this, and see just the wealth of information. Right, we're going from looking for wild edible mushrooms and other plants around, to small engine repair, right? Where else do you get that?
You're not going to get that anywhere else.
You don't.
You really aren't.
Covering all the bases here, and all kinds of very knowledgeable, skilled people that just come out to share what they have and share what they know. And you don't get that anywhere else. It's a neat little gathering, and I shouldn't even call it a little gathering anymore, because it's getting big.
It's getting big. It's
good. This is it's good to see, and it's nice to see that it's expanding, and we're getting all kinds of new expert presenters in, returning presenters as well, and just the everything is just, like I said, expanding and going well, and it's continuing to grow. So. Which is good, and kind of segues us into you have an exciting announcement.
I do.
All right, let's hear it.
Shay has cornered me into putting on this the super exciting announcement. So I'm just going to get right into that. Now, Dieter and Catherine have graciously hosted the annual Preppers Meet on their property for the past few years now. And with this year's attendance of well over 200 people, or 200 happy campers, I should say, we've come to the conclusion we've outgrown this location. So Che is actively working on securing a new venue that's capable of supporting our ever-growing flock of happy campers. So he's looking at a new site that will be able to host all our campers, all tent people, RV people, all on one site. So there's no more need to shuttle back and forth, and RVs got to stay off site, and you got to park your vehicle off site, and your camp's on site, and then you're going back and forth, and just the logistical nightmare of doing all that, which was time consuming for a lot of folks. I don't think people have any idea how much effort and
there's a lot of behind the scenes work that goes into that, but it runs incredibly smoothly.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the big news. So stay tuned to our good old annual Preppers Meet Facebook page, the website, for breaking news when it becomes available. We'll be filling you in on what's going on this new venue. And that's all we're saying for now. The rest of it's top secret.
Need to know basis, and you don't quite need to know yet.
You don't need to know right now,
But if you bribe me with chicken wings, I might
you might let it slip. Well, that's awesome. Like I said, it's really cool to see this whole event just start from like a small group of people, get a little bit larger each year, and get to the point now where it's hitting over 200 people showing up, which is just fantastic. So it's been fun to watch and fun to see it expand and get bigger, and I'm looking forward to making it out next year, because I'm going to mark the calendar as soon as we know the dates. Mark it down and
the dates, which is usually in the first little bit of July. So hopefully it'll stay the same.
Hopefully.
Another thing I'd like to put a little plug in for, there's lots of talent out there that listen to this program. So if you think that you might have something that you would like to teach, present, or put forward to the want to be a presenter or a vendor on the annual Preppers Meet, just shoot Shay an email at info@annualpreppersmeet.com and discuss with him about what you might want to do, because there's always an opportunity for some good stuff, because there's lots of good, knowledgeable people out there that have things they can contribute.
And I'm sure you'll be looking for some volunteers too, right? If
always looking for volunteers. Yeah, some of us are getting old. Not quite as fast as we used to be. But
so if presenting or teaching isn't exactly your thing, or you just want to help out in other ways,
heck,
put in an email and volunteer to help out, to work behind the scenes, because they can always use the help. Things run incredibly smoothly as it is, but having an extra set of hands to help out can never be a bad thing.
Yep, because goodness knows what Shay's got planned. Like last year we had a food truck.
That's right.
This year we cooked ourselves.
Yep.
So this year we had barbecue set up, and we cooked burgers and potato salad and macaroni salad and so on. It was pretty
awesome.
Good. But we all did that ourselves. So there was always need of help for that, and there's always help needed for cleaning up and setting up, preparing and so on. So
well,
that's
awesome.
Good. That's good. Yeah.
Awesome. It's like I said, it's a great venue to get out to. It's tons and tons of knowledgeable people, all kinds of skills to learn. And I'm excited to see what comes of things next year, where it ends up, and who comes out to share their knowledge, because it's only going to get bigger and better.
Only going to get bigger and better. And the folks you meet and the networking skills and the contacts you make are, you just can't put a price on that. It's absolutely amazing. Every year I meet some new folks that I absolutely love and can't wait to see them next year, and hopefully even before that. I should put a plug in for this as well, because every once in a while she will put on a smaller event, and usually post that on the annual Preppers Meet website, or meetup.com. That's another place where he'll post stuff, and maybe they're just one-day affairs or something, and God knows where they're going to be. They could be at different locations, but sometimes you have the option of camping out overnight and doing some skills and meeting some folks. So keep an eye on all of these things: the annual Preppers Meet website, the Facebook page, and meetup.com. And just hook up with us.
Should also mention too that the Prepper Meet is kid friendly.
So kid friendly.
If you got younger ones, bring them out as well. It's friendly for them. If I recall correctly, dogs are good as well. I think they were last year.
Yep. So dogs were there. They got to be leashed, and they got to be well behaved, and you got to clean up after them. But no, you can bring the dog.
Yep. Bring the dog. Bring the rugrats. Yep.
There was a few this year.
Never too young to learn.
Yep. Exactly.
So. But the kids, it's good to see the kids out.
Yeah.
And you get the same ones coming back every year.
You sure do. Yep.
And,
I won't ever forget the one year I was there doing the ham radio communications talk. At the end of it, I had a whole bunch of the little Baofeng radios like these guys here that I'd use for the demonstration, and they all came and wanted to use them for a little bit. I'm like, sure, here you go. I must have handed out about 10 or 15 of them, and they were just
God,
running around, chatting with each other, hiding in the woods, and all 15 came back. Right, it was awesome.
Oh yeah, they had a great time. They're good kids. Never had an issue with any. Never.
No, like I said, it's always a good group. Tons of awesome people. It's a good go. But I figured get the plug in there too for those of you with rugrats and dogs and such.
Yes,
bring them along.
Yes. Quite the inclusive crowd.
Yep,
everybody's welcome.
Got it. Awesome. Anything else to add, Terry, about the annual preppers meet this year, or any final thoughts?
I think I've flogged everything here that I can think of off the top of my head.
Perfect.
Yeah. Again, just stay tuned to the Facebook page if there's anything that comes up or anything. And I got bios on there of most of our presenters. I keep working at them, so you can read a lot about their background and what they've done, and they really are good at what they do. There's quite a bit of info on the Facebook page. We try and put a little stuff on there to stimulate a bit of conversation regularly. So
we'll keep everybody, of course, updated as well. If I hear anything that's going on or anything that needs to be plugged or pushed along, we'll make sure that it gets out on the podcast as well, so that there's multiple ways for people to hear about it and get updates.
Beauty. Yeah, we'd be forever grateful.
No, happy to push the word, because like I said, it's a fantastic gathering. So
yeah, sure it is.
All right. Well, with that, let's move into the podcast challenge for this episode. So, podcast challenge is set aside the dates for the annual preppers meet as soon as they are published, and just get out there and get to the meet next year. So,
right on.
It's an easy one. You got a year to complete this one, so lots of time.
Got lots of time. We'll have it posted as quick as we have it.
Perfect. Upcoming events, we got TACCOM 2023 coming up September 8th, 9th, and 10th at the International Center. That's in Mississauga, Ontario. So check out TACCOMcanada.com. We'll see if it gets up and off the ground this year. So I think they've had a bit of a rough go the last couple. So hopefully.
Yeah, it seems like they're still going. Good. As long as the government cooperates.
Yeah. Which is questionable at best.
That's a discussion for Monday night.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Jeff, you got a weather blurb?
I do. Basically, in one word, hot. It's probably going to. They've said July is going to probably be the hottest month on record. I wouldn't doubt it. At least I know where I live. We've had more than enough heat warnings and very, very hot days. So just make sure that you're taking care of yourself as well as others. Check on those who may be affected by the heat. I'm thinking especially of elderly people, elderly parents, neighbors, whatever. If you have to be outside or have to work, make sure you stay hydrated. Obviously, if you're sweating a lot, make sure you drink lots of water, but you may also want to top off with some kind of an electrolyte drink to replace the electrolytes you're going to get rid of. So your Gatorades, your Powerades, those kind of drinks. I will caveat this next comment with depends who you talk to. So avoid caffeine. Anybody who knows me knows. Avoid me until I've had my caffeine.
Yep.
Yeah. If I haven't had my coffee in the morning, don't bother me. Stay away. Basically, what I'm talking about is, don't have it at 2:00 in the afternoon. If it's, it's refreshing. It's nice to have, but if it's super hot outside, having alcohol really isn't the best thing. Like caffeine, alcohol is a diuretic, so it will make you lose what precious water or electrolytes or whatever that you have. So I'm not saying to not have any, just do it in moderation. And obviously avoid hot drinks. Again, the coffees, teas, that kind of stuff. If you get overheated, and and then I will say this, if you get overheated, avoid, you want to cool down, but avoid super cold drinks.
Mm-hmm.
Dumping something very cold into you when you are very hot could put you into shock.
Yep.
So drink cool liquids, but not something that's ice cold. Find shade, put a cool wet towel on the back of your neck. Find a way to cool yourself down. If you've got time and you can move around, go somewhere that, go to a cooling center, go to a shopping mall, something that's a little bit cooler, to kind of wander around. Obviously, if you feel dizzy or you feel nauseated or sick to your stomach, chances are you probably should seek some medical advice or medical help, because at that point you may be into the realm of heat exhaustion or heat stroke or whatever. So better safe than sorry. I mentioned it a couple episodes ago with my tornado discussion, that on the weather front, hot temperatures are the perfect recipe for severe storms. We've seen quite a few of them in Ontario here in the last week to 10 days. We've had several tornado touchdowns, some really, really severe thunderstorms from the hot temperatures, causing, like I say, causing the convection, causing the pop-up supercells. So as always, pay attention to your weather. Just because it's hot and sunny, which is probably the worst thing to have, honestly, keep an eye for late day storms. We are approaching peak hurricane season. Nothing yet, but it should be something, especially if you're in an area that could be potentially hit by a hurricane, something to keep in the back of your mind. Ocean temperatures around the southern U.S. are at an all-time high. Obviously, warm water is fuel. It's like throwing gasoline on a fire for a tornado to have those very strong, very high temperatures in the water. Leads to very strong hurricanes. The North Atlantic, so the upper U.S., like New York and up that way, even into the Maritimes of Canada, so Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, PEI, Newfoundland, that they're way above normal. And those are the same conditions that led to Hurricane Fiona last year, that caused pretty catastrophic damage to a lot of places in the Maritimes. So it happened then, it can happen again. The same parameters are there, if not a little bit more than last time. So if you get another hurricane that takes that same path, you could be in for the same thing. So again, as I always say, don't be scared, be prepared, keep your eyes on the sky, pay attention to the weather. There's no reason to be caught off guard.
Awesome. Thanks, Jeff. Deal of the week. You want to run with that one as well?
Sure. So one of our actual presenters at the Preppers Meet, Brian, and I'm not even going to try and pronounce his last name because I will mess it up for sure. He shared that Home Hardware has a Milwaukee Tradesman knife with a 4-inch blade. It's on sale right now for $20. So if you're looking for an EDC or something to have, go check out Home Hardware there and have a look at that Milwaukee Tradesman knife for $20.
Awesome. For shout outs, I'll just do a quick shout out to Che, Terry, and everybody else that organizes the annual Preppers Meet. Thanks for putting together such an awesome event. It just inspires everybody, gets everybody a little bit more prepared each year, and just helps kind of push information out to those that are looking to learn and get into or continue to participate in this crazy thing we call preparing. So thanks for taking the time. It takes a lot of work to do. I know it's a ton of hours and dedication to make it go. So appreciate it coming together every year.
Oh, great. Well, on behalf of everyone involved here, we thank you for having us on and helping us flog the cause and
of course
putting it out there.
Welcome back anytime.
No problem. Yep. Anytime.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Well, it's fun. It's always fun coming on here with you fellas.
We try to make it fun, right?
Yeah.
Right on.
All right. With that, I'll bring episode number 210 of the Canadian Prepper Podcast to an end. You can find the podcast on iTunes, Podbean, Spotify, or of course your favorite podcast app. Please help us out. Submit a review. It does help other people find us.
And we do record these shows live on Facebook and YouTube. So if you want an early peek at the show, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, Canadian Prepper Podcast. Click the notifications tab. That will give you an alert when we are going live. If anybody wants to contact me, you can send an email to feedback@prepperpodcast.ca, or I'm frequently on the Discord.
All right, where can everybody find you, Terry?
Okay, so the Annual Preppers Meet website is just annualpreppersmeet.com. You can find anything about the Preppers Meet on that. We also have a Facebook page, so just go into your Facebook search and type in Annual Preppers Meet. Again, there's a Facebook page, or not a Facebook page, sorry, a Meetup page. So check that out, Ontario Preppers Survival Network on Meetup. And if you're really hard up for somebody to talk to, you can reach me at terrylblackmore@hotmail.com.
Awesome. Please check out Rapid Survival at rapidsurvival.com. You can get me there on the live chat while you're buying some prepper gear. You can also email me at feedback@prepperpodcast.ca. Thanks for joining us. Until next time, be prepared, stay safe,
and keep learning.